They are putting what Sam did under such an intense magnifying glass. I think they feel like boys will be boys. A single woman texts a man, burn her at the stake. Hi, I'm Ray Arcade. Welcome to my channel. The last time we were at the Jersey Shore house, Sammi had returned and she proclaimed that Ronnie was reformed and they were more in love than ever before. And then Snooki and Vinny were trying to figure out their complicated feelings for each other. Well, what happened next? Take my hand as we find out on this Jersey Shore retrospective. Today we are covering Season 3, Episode 11 called GTF, Jim, Tan, Find Out Who Sammi is Texting, and it premiered on March 10th, 2011. Sorry about the delay. I think this will be out one day late because I have a sinus infection and I probably sound terrible. And I'm going to try to edit around my sniffling and throat clearing as much as possible, but I'm sorry if I don't sound 100%. But I wanted to get a video out for you guys. And if you would like to hear me complain about my constant sinus infections, hit subscribe. Okay, let's get into it. We open on Vinny taking his girlfriend, Pauly, to Staten Island to meet his family. The way Pauly functions sometimes.
Yeah, buddy. I love that island. Sing the song. I'm going to Staten Island. 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 It's an actual island. It's an actual island.
I did not know Staten Island was an actual island.
He repeats what he's saying a lot, and he has a lot of vocal tics and stems. I'm not diagnosing him. I'm just saying I've known several people like him in my life, and they all have something. Pauly also didn't know that Staten Island was an island, and I'm going to defend him. I'm going to defend him right now, because Pauly is from Rhode Island, and Rhode Island is indeed not an island. I expect Pauly wasn't looking at maps a lot in his youth or in current day, so he probably never saw the island of Staten Island and just assumed it was named like Rhode Island, even though it's not an island. You guys look a lot alike. Twinning. Fun fact, apparently, Rhode Island used to be called Rhode Island and the Providence Plantations. So Rhode Island was this little island off of the mainland of the whole thing. They call that Aquidneck now. And they started calling the main Providence Plantations, they started calling that just Rhode Island. So that's why it's called Rhode Island now, even though it's not an island. Aren't you glad I wasted your time with this? Has my viewership dropped off yet? At the house, Mike jailbreaks the two crusty white dogs, and he is feeding these poor dogs everything.
Pizza a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Oh, looks like you're having pizza for lunch.
I'm coming in sneaking some serious amenities.
Guess what I got for you? A little peanut butter.
He wants peanut butter. I can speak to them.
Fluff time.
The big one likes fluff.
You always gotta have a little fluff with peanut butter.
They love me.
He keeps saying this is his master plan, which is just to feed the dogs a bunch of stuff that is surely going to upset their stomachs so that they pee and poop all over the house. But, he lives there too. So he's going to be living around pee and poop. I don't really understand it. It's not really a prank. It's just disgusting. I'm going to chalk this up to Mike's already lack of brain cells being addled by the immense amount of rocks he said he was also on during this season. Back on the island called Staten Island, Vinny is introducing Pauly to his whole family, and Pauly is getting to experience some cooking courtesy of Vinny's mom, Paula.
They have so much food. Started off with pizza, and then we got into the pasta, chicken cutlets, mashed potatoes, we have potato salad, we have eggplant, corn, so much food.
Also, now I think is a good time to mention, we never see Vinny's dad on the show. Kind of a weird situation, but Vinny's dad was actually there, living in the basement, the lower level of the house. I guess him and Paula had separated, but they've lived together for a while. Basically, his mom and sisters raised him for the most part. His dad wasn't really around helping him, but he lives in the house. Didn't want to have anything to do with Jersey Shore or beyond it, but he was there. While they're having this party, he was probably downstairs. It's a very strange situation. I'm sure it has had no effect on Vinny whatsoever. After a good meal and some Italian family time, Vinny and Pauly head back to the Jersey Shore. Meanwhile, the rest of the cast gets back to the house and they smell and see dog poop and pee all over the house.
Something smells like poop. Is that poop right there? We get home, the stench is so bad.
Is it pee? Is it on my bed?
There's piss and everywhere around the house. It's disgusting.
Dina, however, can smell Mike's cologne on Noelle, the little Maltese, and they figure out it was him who did it. Mike wakes up from his opioid nap, or what I think was a nice little opioid nap, comes downstairs. He's like, I don't know what happened. It wasn't me. At Karma, Snooki meets a Pauly D lookalike, Pauly D light, diet Pauly D.
So I met this guy at Karma. I have no idea what his name is, but he looks like Pauly.
I think it's really cute how he's like smiling at Snooki and kind of playing with her hair. I don't know, I think he's a cutie. Ron and Sam are drunk and Ron's putting the moves on Sammi. She's kissing him kind of hesitantly and she seems really upset with herself here for hooking up with Ron at the club. Sam is trying to be strong and show resistance and not hook up or immediately run back to Ron, but already her defenses are falling. But they don't sleep together that night. They go to bed separately in their designated sleeping areas, which is good. Snooki, however, hooks up with Nick. Not Roger's friend Nick. Nick, the Pauly D Nick. The Pauly D lookalike. The next day, everybody goes to the tanning salon. Vinny gets a spray tan that looks ridiculous, but when they're leaving, Jenni thinks she sees Roger's car, and she tries to pull up next to him, but he pulls some evasive maneuvers.
Yeah, he has no clue.
He doesn't realize. Either that or he's with a girl.
Oh my God, shut up!
Busted big time, yeah. Busted big time, yeah.
Everyone is teasing Jenni. She's laughing it off, but you can tell she's actually very upset. I mean, the boys were just giving her crap. They were saying, oh, he's got a girl in the car. He's got a girl in the car. They didn't know that. She took that very seriously. And she goes from about 0 to 100. She calls him when they get home. She thinks he gives her the, fuck you, click off button. So she leaves the most insane voicemail one could leave.
Sound like a click off. Ew. All right, so I have a small problem. I was just behind you on 37 or whatever it's called, and you did the dip on us. And basically, my roommate said that you had a girl.
Don't put it on me, yo.
So,
he's bigger than me.
That being said, I don't know. I guess I'm done for right now. Call me back if you want to explain yourself. Bye.
Unfortunately, I can relate to Jenni here. If I like someone a lot and I think they're doing something to hurt me, in order to protect myself, I will blow the whole thing up. That way I can't get hurt because I'll be like, hey, it's me, the one who is setting things on fire, not you. I'm burning this place down. Roger does call back eventually, and before he can even say anything, Jenni's immediately tucking tail and apologizing. She definitely has the temper and lets her emotions take hold before she has any rational thought cross her mind. Roger explains what happened. I think he's being pretty reasonable here. Man, it's a real shame about what Roger turned out to be like in the future.
I got to the gym at like 6 o'clock, all right, by myself. I left by myself. I had 5 minutes to make it to the barbershop. So where the do I pick up a girl in 5 minutes? Are you serious with me right now? Are you just trying to create a situation that is completely just made up or what? Because it's not true.
Sorry. I apologize. I feel like an ass, and...
Can you give me a little room to breathe, from now on?
All right.
All right. Good night, baby.
Good night.
Dina, Snooki, and Sammi have a prank on the boys with water balloons. And everybody's having fun. It's just good, clean times. And I like these scenes sometimes that break the drama or the really heavy stuff because they're just having fun like you're supposed to have with friends when you go to the Jersey Shore.
No.
Ron and Sam have a heart-to-heart, and they've both convinced themselves that they've changed, they're happier, they're ready to try again. Sam's going to let Ron prove himself. I'm sure this is going to last forever. They've collectively convinced themselves that they've changed, but everybody else is pretty much rolling their eyes at that. Just like Jenni says. Same shit, different toilet with Sam and Ron. The gang goes to Jenkinson's boardwalk in Point Pleasant. Ron and Sammi go to the aquarium where they get to see a penguin. The aquarist. Did you know that that's what like the zookeeper term for an aquarium person is? So if you work at a zoo, you're a zookeeper. If you work at an aquarium, you're an aquarist. I had to Google that. Anyway, asks what type of animal a penguin is. Ron and Sam think a penguin is a mammal. It is a bird. Snooki has like a breakout. Mike hooks her up with a face mask. And Vinny says,
What the hell? She looks like the crow. Snooki's the darkest girl in the house. So to see Snooki white, she looks like a mime.
Hearing the crow really took me back. I think that movie is a big stepping stone for many girls when it comes to forming their type of man that they're into when they get older. Not that I'm speaking from personal experience. The gang goes out to Karma for the night, and we meet the infamous Arvin.
Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while, bro. Real good to see you. I run into my boy, Arvin. He looks like a jacked up Guido MacGyver. What's new? What? She's around here.
So Arvin knows Sam and Mike from pre-Jersey Shore, because if you remember during my season 1 coverage, Sam and Mike knew each other before the show started filming because they were in similar party circles in New Jersey, and Arvin was also a part of those circles. Mike sees that while Sammi was at home after, the big fight and breakup with Ron, she had been texting Arvin. I hate Mike in this entire situation. He's just being a troublemaker. He's being a sexist, and he calls Sammi a sneaky bitch. He's just causing problems. Boo, boo. And any goodwill I had for Mike up until this point is gone because of the way he's just so excited to tell everybody what he has found out. He immediately gets Jenni involved.
Sammi, sweetheart, the sweetest bitch you ever met. She's been texting him like every day, like, what up? You know what I mean? I want to see you, meet me here, this, that, and the other thing.
She went home. She gave you a call. Like, can I see?
Yo, do you want to get the other dudes in this? Everybody knows them.
And then Jenni is like sitting there giggling, like this is so funny. She does not care. She has to know that this is going to make Ronnie flip out. She does not care if it makes him lash out at Sam and mistreat her again. And it really annoys me the way she's acting. Basically, in 5 minutes of Mike finding out, the whole house knows that Sammi was texting Arvin when she was at home. So here's what I think happened. And I don't know how much play production had in influencing things, but I think Sammi went home. I do think she intended on returning to the Shore house. I think that she wasn't ready to let that go. So I think she wanted a break. I think she knew she was going to come back. So she's texting Arvin. She assumes, based on Ron's past actions, that Ron's going to be in single Ronnie mode. So she thinks, okay, I'll invite Arvin out the night that I get back and we'll meet at Karma, and that will piss Ron off. Which is honestly an insane move. I know a lot of people try to justify this, but like it's a bad move. I can't excuse it at all. That being said, I do feel bad for Sam because she knows Ron's going to flip out. You can tell she's scared. She's scared that when he finds out about the texting situation with Arvin, he's going to lose his grip on her. And Sammi does this thing where she gets really defensive, and I think she thinks if she yells and repeats herself loud enough, she'll be able to convince everybody the truth. Even though everybody has seen the text, they know the truth.
What's the guy you've been texting?
anybody. Well, Mike is coming up to us, showing us all these text messages saying that you did it, and I did what?
You texted him to come here tonight and all this
Didn't. No, I didn't.
Sam and Ron are yelling at each other, and now Ron gets to be the ultimate victim retroactively. And also Jenni can fuck off here too, because her pick-me urge to side with Ron all the time is so annoying. You'll be like, oh, he's being dogged out by Sam, and all of her giggling. Boo. The whole discourse between these grown men, children in the kitchen pisses me off.
It's funny because, like, Ronnie was always in the wrong.
Everyone knew that. No one knew that Sam was doing it the whole time.
Every time she finds out something, she gets mad, she's over it, they smush, they're back together, bang, on and popping, 0-0. Little do we know, it's not 0-0. Oh. Sam was always up 1.
Sam was never 1 up. She wasn't doing this the whole time. Like, I have no idea what they're talking about. They are putting what Sam did when she was single under such an intense magnifying glass because they do not hold men to the same standards. I think they feel like boys will be boys. That's their mentality. Ron will be a dog. That's just who he is. A single woman texts a man. Harlot. Witch. Burn her at the stake. Sam starts arguing with Mike, which is like a fruitless endeavor. The only way out of this, if she wanted to get out of it, is to be like, yeah, I texted him. Take it or leave it. But she's so scared of Ron that she's just trying to worm her way out of it. Like he's like the pocket pit bull. He's staring at her. Like he's got rabies and he wants to attack her. Ron and Sam are fighting and he has her boxed into the room. And every time she tries to step around him, he blocks her and he's yelling in her face. And honestly, the whole scene is kind of triggering.
What? No! You don't get it! Handle it. You can't handle it. You can't handle it.
I didn't get anything.
Why the Arvin show up tonight? Why didn't Arvin?
I don't know. I didn't tell him to come here tonight.
You didn't tell him to come to Karma?
No, no!
Oh, what do you know? Look at me!
Let me go!
No!
And also, Jenni is just standing there smirking. Like, this whole situation's real cute. And screw Jenni. Like, how is she going to come into this season after having been pushed by Tom down a flight of steps and then watch a man mistreat a woman like that in front of her and smile about it? Like, Jenni can fuck off. And so can Ron. Ron can also fuck off. And that's where the episode ends. I'm gonna be for real with you. I forgot to pull a comment from my last video because I'm on a lot of Dayquil and I don't feel good. So I will owe you guys 2 Ray replies to replies next video. Forgive me. I'm not a perfect person. Okay. Until next time, stay crazy, stay wild. Bye.